thoughts on Happy Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may or will be used against you. Thank you.
There's a cup
Ryan
on the kitchen conversion.
You're on roll this morning, Glory. Good morning, Ryan.
Thank you.
I like this guy already. this guy, wow. All right, now, do people tell you that you are a goofball or...
Yeah.
That young
Thank
Ryan
you.
Hop or Hoppy. Ryan.
Okay, and your name?
Ryan Hoppy.
Okay, Ryan Hoppe, where do you live?
How tonight?
Ah, so you're from the rich north suburbs.
What's going on, Ryan Hoppe? This is Tony Romo.
You're funny, Ryan Hoppy.
No one knows who Ryan Hoppe is.
You never have to worry about offending Ryan Hoppe.
Isn't he like 7 foot tall?
He's 7 foot tall. He's
He's a kid.
a kid. He's been trying to find his place in radio.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. He's just, I don't know. He spread himself pretty thin.
He's
got good mentors.
Yeah, I'm back, Nate. Don't worry.
Happy Hour is on now. Happy Hour is on now.
Second time is always the charm. What's up? This is Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. I had to take a very important call real quick. Nothing's up, you know. But I just had to take a very important call because what's annoying is the setup here at Happy Hour is me recording off of my phone. So when I get a call and it's important, I have to take it. Anyway, this is Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. For the next hour, my goal in life is to change the way you think about things. For the next hour, I want my rants and my opinions to broaden your horizon and to get into contact with me. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio or get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Hoppe Radio, H-O-P-P-E Radio. There you can chat me live and listen anywhere in the world. And if you're listening on demand and you want to express yourself with more than 140 characters, you can always do it the old traditional way by sending me an email. What do you think the email could be? RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. And right now, we don't have the phone lines working yet. It's a work in progress. I'm trying. So it's RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com to email me and leave me a voicemail. 856-49-HOPPE. It's 856-49-HOPPE, and I am working on getting the phone lines fixed. All right, we have so much to get into with today's show. Yeah, get the air horns. Woo! Yeah. All right. So, I run the board overnight at 102.5 The Bone, and it's on Sunday mornings from 12 to 6 a.m. So a lot of times there's games on the West Coast that are going on in the NBA, MLB, NHL, NFL, NCAA, anything, because it's 3 hours behind us. There's always games going on. And remember, like 3 months ago, there was this game. I think it was UCLA, and I don't know who they were playing, but it was on the Big Ten network. And I'm starting to see these tweets in real time as I'm sitting there running the board at the Bone. And it's saying Lonzo Ball compares his kid to Curry and says he would make an immediate impact on the Warriors. And I really haven't had any time to watch March Madness or NCAA this year just because it's not a thing in Tampa. And it sucks because I like basketball. But NBA, NCAA, March Madness, it just doesn't exist in Tampa. Tampa's more of a Tampa Bay Lightning town. And it's so transplant that it's just, they're not into basketball here. So I haven't had any time this year to watch Lonzo Ball when he played for UCLA. So I had no idea who he was. The first time I actually don't know any players in March Madness or NCAA basketball. So when I see that this guy, Lavar Ball, is saying that his kid's going to be the next Curry, I'm like, who the fuck is Lavar Ball? And I did my research. And this is before everyone knew who Lavar Ball was. And this is before everybody was so outraged over him. This is back when he first said it. And I remember I'm like, oh boy, this guy is not going to go away. And my thing is this. It's okay to be a proud parent. It's okay to be a parent that loves your kid and that is, you know, there at the games and supporting them. Like you look at Del Curry. Del Curry and his wife and Seth, and I think it's whatever his sis name is, they all go to the games. They're a religious family. They're classy. I'm cool with them showing the players' parents on TV and being all about family. But this is a podcast where I don't like to swear, but I'm going to say it right now. Lonzo Ball's dad, Lavar Ball, needs to shut the fuck up. At this point, dude, you're just running your mouth because you know the morons in the sports media eat it up and they treat it as actual news. He's talked so much smack. And there's that video of him going on First Take, walking out like all swagged out like he's in a wrestling match. And then you see Lonzo and he has his hood up looking all embarrassed. And this is after his son choked in the game during March Madness when he had just 8 points, whatever. His dad had to make it about him. And I thought that'd be the biggest scumbag move this loser would do. This same loser who lived through his kids and his 2 kids that right now are playing in high school. Because Lavar Ball was never good enough to play basketball. He played, he averaged 3 points, he played football, but he was never good enough where nobody knows who you are. You don't have a Wikipedia page. You never contributed anything to basketball. So now that your kid has the potential to go to the Lakers, you're just an embarrassment, dude. You're that dad that everybody despises, that all the kids rip into back in high school, that all the parents roll their eyes. Lavar, you're not impressing anybody. You're not edgy. Nobody's impressed that you're like, wow, I'm there for my son. If anything, everyone's annoyed with you. It says here, and this is from Bleacher Report, Lavar Ball says comments regarding UCLA's white players were taken out of context. He didn't mean it. When he said it, he meant it in a different way. Shut up. All right. This is from Bleacher Report. UCLA player's father, Lonzo Ball's father, Lavar Ball, turned some heads Thursday, or basically every head, with controversial comments saying the Bruins' white players prevented them from winning a title. All right. I'm not saying it'd be right if Lonzo Ball had a 50-point game, but maybe you go, Lonzo gave it his all. Lonzo tried so hard to get the Bruins a championship this year. Lonzo tried so hard to win it, but Lonzo choked. That's why this dad, Lavar, is such a cretin and such a peanut-brained imbecile. Your son didn't even have a good game. Frankly, your son might be the reason he lost because he couldn't find a jump shot. Shut up. Here's what he said. I am not saying I don't like the white guys and we lost because of them, but that's how the media tried to twist it. Because here's what he said on Thursday. And now the quote I'm going to read to you, let's see, guys, everyone that's listening to Happy Hour and watching, maybe there's a different version of what he meant by this quote. Maybe he wasn't ripping into the white players. Maybe he meant something different, You can't win no championship with 3 white guys because the foot speed is too slow. I told Lonzo, one of these games you're going to need to go for 30 to 40 points, which your kid didn't do. Your kid choked, you loser, you imbecile. If your kid had a game like, let's say, Booker on the Phoenix Suns where he gave it his all and they lost by 20 points to the Celtics, but he had 70 points in the NBA. If it was one of those games where Lonzo put the team on his back and they lost, then maybe this comment would potentially be okay. But when your kid choked, you're just coming off like an idiot. And what other way does this quote mean? You can't win no championship with 3 white guys because the foot speed is too slow. Huh? And here's what's so about it. Is the media is so soft because they don't want to say anything because then it might start relations with races where we get offended. If this was a white guy's father, like let's say Gordon Hayward, 6-7 years ago when he played for Butler and they lost to Duke and he almost made that half-court shot. If Gordon Hayward's father said, we would have crucified Gordon Hayward's father. But when it's Lavar Ball, who we've just let babble over and over, the hypocritical douchebag that he is, I guess it's okay. I'm just saying, if it was Gordon Hayward's dad saying that 7 years ago, oh, they lost because of the black guys who couldn't jump high enough, we would have crucified him. It says here, UCLA season came to an end in the Sweet 16 when it lost to Kentucky. And it wasn't like they lost by 1 or 2 points. They lost by 11 points. Bryce Alford, TJ Leaf, and Thomas Welsh were all white players for the team. I love Bryce because he's Alfred's son and he's been nice to me. That's what Lonzo's friend said. I like playing for Lonzo. He's a lot of fun. Oh, I bet he was just so much fun to be around. Here's what Lavar Ball also said. I blame one person every time they lose, and it's the same person all the time. It's my son. Man, sounds like you're a real great father. Despite Ball's previous remarks, his son didn't shine in the game. He had 10 points on 4 of 10 shooting and a mere 1 of 6 from three-point range. Now, if the numbers were like 40 points and he went 6 for 6 from three-point range, then maybe the comment would make sense. But when your son choked and this was his moment to shine against Kentucky, shut your fucking mouth, dude. You imbecile, you dimwit, you moron. Like I said, if this was any other race saying it about African Americans, we would be crucified. My God. You know, when it's Lavar Ball, we let him say whatever he wants. Ugh. God, and we're going to have to hear about him. Especially if Lonzo goes on to be great in the NBA and goes on to win championships. We're just gonna have to look. We're just gonna have to hear from Lavar Ball for the next 20 years. I just can't take it. I'm not gonna talk about him again unless he has some other outrageous quote. But that just really got me mad that nobody was grilling him for saying those hypocritical, racist lines. And I'm a guy, man. I play it easy when it comes to opinions on race or feminism, anything that sparks outrage, gay rights. I don't care what you do in this short lifetime. I don't care what you say. But when Lavar Ball is openly being racist and we're not saying anything about it, it got me real mad. Just saying. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. Also, leave me a voicemail, 856-49-HOPPE. That's 856-49-HOPPE. All right, we will be right back on Happy Hour after this. Do not touch that computer mouse, that tablet, however the hell you're listening to my show. I have to wait a few seconds for them to play over it. What's up?
I'll be back. I'm going to go buy pizza.
You what?
I'm going to go buy pizza.
Cool.
Hey, what's up? This is Ryan Hoppe from the award-winning Happy Hour podcast and winner of the fight against Jake Herron of the Crowded Table in my counter punch-out. And the main reason that I won that fight was because of the training that I got from Main Event Boxing in St. Petersburg. And now maybe you're not even going into a boxing match, but you want to get into shape. And you're sick and tired of looking at your gut. And you're sick and tired of going to the gym and getting average results. And you're saying to yourself, man, how can I get into the best shape of my life, especially...
Brent says, how did you leave in the middle? You got a good show. Act like a pro. My man, I had an important call from the family. I had to take the call.
There are so much good things.
Life throws you curveballs, and then you swing a home run.
30-minute body workout, which focuses on every part of your body and...
I'll let the dead air
They will
speak
make
for
sure
itself.
They will now wear you out, and each day is a different workout, and they really do care about seeing...
Sipping wine out of my official Happy Hour
as
cup like a
person
classy
and
gentleman.
with
Right, babe?
you will gain after coming to Main Event Boxing. To get
Thanks for
into
chiming in.
contact with them, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you got to do is call Josh, the owner and trainer, at 727-564-3948. That's 727-564-3948. And you can...
We'll be back in about 2 minutes. I just got to get these plugs in.
28th Avenue North, and that's in St. Petersburg. Trust me when I say, Main Event Boxing is the best in the Bay.
Happy Hour. Happy Hour. Bang!
What's up? This is Ryan Hoppe from Happy Hour, and I have a very special shout out to one of the sponsors of this award-winning podcast, Nicholas Seymour from Duluth, Minnesota.
My cat's on my lap right now. Say hi, Lily.
Graphics.
She's like, God, it's been 15 years of this crap with this loser. Ugh, had enough.
Buy Happy Hour decals. It's not too hard.
What?
Just $4.
Okay, go.
You can support
Chime in.
This award-winning podcast.
Say hi to the camera, actually.
Small business here in America, or maybe
Hi, how are you?
a freelancing.
Good to see you. How was work?
Your logo made into
Uh.
a nice.
Who got you those roses?
You did.
Who got you the food that you put away?
You did.
What did I get you? I'm such a classy man.
Ice cream.
the contact
he's rolls.
with Nick. It's
Later.
trust. He will answer your call real quick.
I said it.
He is one of the nicest guys I know. His number is 330-419-0691. That is 330-419-0691. Or you can send him an email, soulysdesign@gmail.com. That is soulysdesign@gmail.com. And to check out Hoppe
You should do it live on the show. They'd be really edgy. Cut your toenails on the show. They'd be so edgy. Do some shock jock radio. Hoppe's girlfriend cuts her toenails on air. Woo. We're shock jocks over here.
And he will give you a badass deal. Trust my word.
That'd be so disgusting.
Nick Seymour of Solis Graphics is the best around.
What do I want to talk about next? All right, welcome back to Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe. Tweet me at Ryan Hoppe Radio. And make sure you get the Hoppe Radio app. We have some comments we got in real time via the Hoppe TV version of Hoppe Hour. And now if you want to know how to watch it, it's not hard. All you have to do is type in my name, RYANHOPPE, and you can creep on my public Facebook and you can watch it live. Because I have nothing to hide. I'm not like some of the kids my age that are 23 years old and they have like nicknames on Facebook because there's pictures of them popping ecstasy and underage drinking and doing nothing with their life and doing drugs. I have nothing to hide. I'm weird, I'm awkward, I'm in radio. I got nothing to hide. I'm trying to build a brand here. All right. We have so much to get into here. I saw this. And you know, you just predicted it years ago. It says, Mike the Situation facing 15 years in prison. And now, I'm not saying JWoww or Snooki or, man, it's been years since I watched it, Dina or Paulie D or Ronnie. I'm not saying they were smarter than Mike, but it seemed like they kind of had a brand. Like Snooki's brand was she ended up having a kid and got kind of normal. JWoww had the perfume. Paulie D makes some money being an EDM DJ. I think Ronnie got into like workout supplements and was in like workout magazines. So they all seemed to do okay after Jersey Shore. But it always kind of seemed like Mike the Situation was kind of the slow one of the group. Like he was the one that was just the douchebag of the group that was just hard to be around. And it's really weird. That show was out when I was in high school, and it was funny. Me and my friends, because I had some friends. It was weird. I was friends with the kids on the basketball team, but I would often piss them off so they wouldn't invite me as often. But every Thursday, we would go to my friend's basement, and he had a popcorn machine, and we'd cook popcorn and potentially underage drink on a school night, and watch Jersey Shore every Thursday, and it was so much fun. And I remember I'd go over there, and my dad would be like, so what's Jersey Shore about? I'm like, don't even ask. I'm like, you don't even want to know. I like this caption here. This is from the Daily Mail. I don't get what they did there. Maybe you get it, babe. We have a situation here. Well written by the Daily Mail, because it's Mike the Situation. Get it? Yeah. Jersey Shore man Mike Sorrentino is hit with tax evasion charge that could send him to prison while awaiting trial for not reporting $8.9 million in earnings. And I don't get how you can cheat the taxes, but when you're rich and sort of famous like that, don't you think that the feds are going to be in on you? When you're rich and famous like that, don't you think they're going to be in on what you're doing? I never get these rich and famous people like Wesley Snipes and other people that think they're going to get away with tax evasion. It's like, you make a lot of money. Of course they're going to be looking into you. Mike Sorrentino and his brother Mark were charged with violating tax laws. He is accused of tax evasion and messing with funds. his brother Mark, who is also his manager, which is, number one, the issue you have, is that this dumb meathead thought it was a good idea to have his brother be his manager of his money. That's always asking for problems. Because if you combine both of their IQs, it's in the negative. It's not positive. They're dummies. Mike, the situation, should have got a legit accountant, a legit person, to watch his money. He should have done it that way. But whenever these athletes go through their family members, it never works out well. Unless you're Klay Thompson on the Warriors, where the parents hold on to the money and he's never going to go broke. That's the only time the family should have access to the money. They were previously charged in 2014 for not paying the taxes in earnings between 2010 and 2012, which is when he made $10 million. It'd be so funny if Mike the Situation got 20 years in jail, especially after the fact that they were looking into him. The IRS was looking into their lack of taxing back 4 or 5 years ago. So what they do again? They did it again. A little over 5 years after bumping his final fist with his roommates on Jersey Shore, Mike the Situation seems to have found a new summer tradition. For the second time in just 3 years, the former MTV player and his brother have been charged with violating tax laws, with the latest batch of charges including tax evasion. It says that they have not commented yet on it. And oh boy, when you see him leaving the courtroom, I'm going to tweet out this picture during the break, at Ryan Hoppe Radio. He looks so humbled and so worried, and it looks like he has not slept at all. Because Mike the Situation back in the day was ripped. He had that GTL going on. He had the orange hair. And he has like gray hair now. He looks like a president after 5 years in office. He looks so much older. I mean, that's what happens when you realize you're probably going to go to prison, is that you're screwed out of luck. And if you don't end up going to prison, you're going to have to pay so much legal fees that you're going to end up going broke. How old is Mike the Situation? I'm looking it up here. He is 35 years old. Wow. So if 2009 was 8 years ago, he was 27 when he was on that show. It seemed like he was even younger. But man, life has not done a good thing for Mike the Situation when it comes to his looks. He looks pale. He looks nervous and very humbled. I would not want to be him. Those latest charges will now be tacked on to the previous charges they had for not paying taxes back in 2012. It's like saying, if you get caught robbing a bank and you kind of get away with it, you then rob another bank. You know, there's no common sense. But when you're known for being on a TV show like Jersey Shore and your name was The Situation, I would have to assume that you're not the smartest person on this planet. I would have to assume you're not that smart if you're getting caught paying for taxes twice. Or not paying your taxes twice. All right, tweet at me at Ryan Hoppe Radio and get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Hoppe Radio. Hoppe Radio. All right. So we are going to talk about Don Rickles passing away. It's a very sad thing, but here's my thing before I get into it. And I've always liked Don Rickles because my parents grew up watching Letterman, and he would be on Letterman all the time. And my parents also loved Jimmy Kimmel, and I remember the first time he went on Jimmy Kimmel back in 2006. I used to watch Jimmy Kimmel live when he was less PC and less liberal, and he was on an hour later after Nightline. I remember the old Jimmy Kimmel schedule when he was much edgier. So I remember when he first had Don Rickles on. And here's my thing. Don Rickles lived a great, great life. Don Rickles changed the way comedy is. And frankly, the fact that he passed away and Joan Rivers passed away, all the comics that didn't care what you think, it kind of represents the fact that the whole idea of fake outrage is just going to be around forever. Like I saw this week, there was a t-shirt that a girl had that she was offended by at Target. It said OCD, Obsessive Christmas Disorder, and she was offended by it. And I mean, Don Rickles would have ripped into that. and now we all are upset at Target over that. So it just seems like it's kind of an end of an era when it comes to being able to speak your mind and say it as it is. But here's my thing. It says here, legendary comic Don Rickles has passed away at the age of 90. The infamous insult comic died Thursday at his home from kidney failure. And what kind of annoyed me, and I'm trying to say this nicely, I'm friends with a guy who's like maybe 59 years old, and he does a very popular morning show. I'm not going to even say where, because then you'll be able to figure out. But I respect the guy. I like the guy's show. But he tweeted out that Don Rickles was way too young. Don Rickles was 90 years old, and it wasn't like he got shot or hit by a drunk driver. It wasn't like Don Rickles fell out of an airplane. He died of kidney failure at the age of 90. He could be old enough to be my great-grandpa. Don Rickles was old. He was very youthful because when he was on David Letterman's show 2 years ago, the same night Howard was on, because remember I moved to town and I would watch Letterman every night, he seemed okay. Don Rickles seemed fine, but he seemed old. And he's been seen in a wheelchair recently. Like, at some point we're all going to die. And I'm not trying to bring my dad into it, but my dad died at the age of 50. That's too young. Carrie Fisher dying at age 59, that's way too young. Heath Ledger dying 10 years ago in his 30s, that's way too young. But when you're Don Rickles and you're 90 years old and you've given life all you can and you've accomplished so much, he's had a good life. And I get it. I get that when you're older, you want to have each day possible and you just want to live as much as possible. I truly get it. I get that we're all scared to death. I really get it. I get when you say he was way too young, but that'd be if he was 70 or even 80. Like, what are we going to say? When Betty White dies, we're going to say she was way too young? I mean, come on. Joan Rivers was too young because she was 80, and she was so youthful on TV, it seemed like she could live longer. But when you're Don Rickles, and you live to be 90, and he served during World War II, and he served in the U.S. Navy, and he was discharged in 1946, and he was the first comic to ever be on the Johnny Carson show, and he was on David Letterman in the 80s. He's done so much in his lifetime. He was so old. He was friends with Frank Sinatra. I mean, the guy had been around forever. He was in shows like Archie Bunker's Place, The Lucy Show, F Troop, Get Smart, Newhart, Hot in Cleveland. He's one of the most known comics ever. He played the voice of Potato Head. I mean, he's done everything possible in his lifetime. It sucks that he passed away. It really does. I like Don Rickles. When I heard he died, I went to my coworker Joe from 102.5 The Bone, the glue of the team, the jack of all trades. I said, no, Don Rickles died. And I tweeted that out as well. But then I went, he was 90 years old. I mean, what are you going to do? All right. Maybe I'm insensitive. Maybe I'm being a shock jock. Let me know what you think. At Ryan Hoppe Radio, RyanHoppeRadio@gmail.com. All right. We will be right back on Hoppe Hour, and we have much more to talk about. So do not touch that computer mouse, that tablet, however the hell you're listening to my show. What's up?
I'm okay.
How long are you going to be gone?
Hoppe Hour.
Sounds good. All right, have fun. Bye. Say bye to Hoppe Hour.
Bye.
All right.
What's up? This is Ryan Hoppe from the award-winning Hoppe Hour podcast here in Tampa Bay, and I'm here today to talk about my guy, Joe Sale of the Tampa Image Factory. About 4 months ago, I needed somebody to take press shots for me for my podcast, and it was hard to find people because it seems like in this day and age, everybody is a photographer. But the thing that I immediately liked about Joe Sale was that he was a laid-back guy who was willing to work with my
Drinking wine because I'm classy.
I immediately dug the vibe of his office. The things they have there include family portraits, commercial work for your company. They can make images for your events, your big day when you're going to get married at your wedding, and they even make photography for products and anything you need for the home or office. And if you're sitting here and you're going, man, This sounds like quite the deal. Man, how can I get into contact with such a trustworthy and hardworking photographer like Joe Sale? Trust me, it's not rocket science. All you got to do is call him at 813-417-2626. It's 813-417-2626. Or you can check him out online at TampaImageFactory.com. That is TampaImageFactory.com. And if you go there and tell them that I sent you, he will hook you up with a top-notch deal.
Say hi, Lily. Hi, Happy Hour.
Of the Tampa Bay Image Factory is the
Such an
best
interesting
in the
life.
Bay.
Call Hoppy now. 856-49-HOPPY. Tweet at him at Ryan Hoppy Radio. Or chat him live via the Hoppy Radio app.
All right, welcome back to Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppy. I don't know why I just got so excited over that. That was odd. All right, I'm not going to talk about this long, but I guess this is kind of sad. But we all know that Tony Romo is replacing Phil Simms as the play-by-play commentator with Jim Nantz. And I guess Phil Simms found out while on vacation, and he found out because his son found out from an NFL insider. And that sucks, man. The media business is a bitch. It's not very loyal at times, and they are out for themselves. It's out for ratings, and that's fine. That's what you expect from a business like the media business. If it's radio, TV, sports. But what I don't get is Phil Simms' brother and Phil Simms and his team, they're acting like he was a good play-by-play announcer. Phil Simms was one of the worst play-by-play announcers of all time. He was one of the worst color commentators I have ever heard. He has a whole Twitter account called Phil Simms Quotes of the dumb things that idiot would say. Denver Broncos. I hated how he said Denver. It drove me nuts. It absolutely drove me nuts. All right, here are some of the quotes that he said. When you talked about Ben Roethlisberger, you were talking about the Pittsburgh team. Jim, you asked me a thing, and I'm going to tell you. Le'Veon Ball is going to run the ball. It's like saying LeBron James is going to dribble up the court and shoot the ball. You would assume the running back of the Pittsburgh Steelers would run the ball. Just saying. Some other quotes he had that were great. Bill O'Brien told us that if they have a 3-and-out, it's okay. I don't think I've ever heard a football coach ever go, yes, our team had a 3-and-out. We couldn't get a first down. This is great. And then here's another quote from Phil Simms that was just great. What a rocket scientist he is. This was on a 3rd and goal, and this was the Oilers, or not the Oilers, this was the Texans, is what I'm trying to say. Texans versus Patriots playoff game, and they were on the goal line, 3rd and goal from the 1. And he goes, I'm pretty sure they're going to go for a touchdown here. I'm sorry. It truly sucks that Tony Romo is replacing Phil Simms, if you're Phil Simms or if you're one of his 4 fans. But let's not act like Phil Simms was a good play-by-play announcer. Whenever he did a game, I would mute it and I would turn on Westwood 1 and listen to the radio version of it because I could not handle his dumb analysis and how he said Denver Broncos. I mean, come on, man. Like, I know it sucks that he lost his gig, but we need to quit pretending like he was any good. I'm just saying. All right. Tweet at me at Ryan Hoppy Radio and get the Hoppy Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Hoppy Radio, Hoppe Radio. I also saw this in the news. And everybody is so outraged. Everybody's losing their mind. People on my Facebook posts are telling me not to talk about it because I don't have the right to express my own opinion in this great country. How dare I express the opinion that if you're offended by Kendall Jenner's Pepsi commercial, you're a moron. You're not very smart. And here's why. Let me explain. I get that the commercial's kind of dumb. I get it's kind of edgy. I truly, truly get why people are mad over it. But listen, this wasn't made by Donald Trump. This wasn't made by anybody of importance. This vapid 2.5 minute trash of a commercial, this embarrassment of a commercial, was made by one of the most boring and dumb and vapid humans on this earth, known as Kendall Jenner and that family, which they provide nothing to this earth. Sorry. Unless you want a good jerk session and you want to watch Kim's porno, they add nothing to this earth. They have one of the worst TV shows of all time. They represent idiocracy. Like in that scene when Luke Wilson goes to the movie theater and he sees a movie called Ass. That's literally why they're famous, because they have nice asses. So I don't get why anyone is offended at Kendall Jenner. Do you expect anything from a 20-year-old to make sense? Shut up. I'm so fucking over this. I'm so over this fake outrage. We're upset over everything. We're upset over Brian Williams saying it was a beautiful bombing, even though he's a news anchor and you have to use some different words to spice up the ratings. I don't think people quite get that life is really short. And do you want to spend the time protesting Kendall Jenner's Pepsi commercial? You want to spend the time, getting mad over a commercial for a secondary soda that's not as popular as Coke? I mean, come on. And this is from BroBible.com. This afternoon, the youngest of the Kardashian clan, Kendall Jenner, proudly released her new Pepsi ad, which features her joining a protest and handing a police officer a Pepsi while Skip's song Lion plays in the background. And here's what Kris Jenner tweeted out. They are such vapid human beings. It says here, so proud of you, Kendall. Thank you, at Pepsi and at Pepsi PR for choosing Kendall to be a face of your new campaign. Hashtag Pepsi, hashtag Pepsi moment, hashtag live for now. And that's my other thing. Do you think Kris Kardashian, the queen of that vapid empire, do you think Kendall, do you think any of the Kardashian sis, do you think they care at all what you think of them? Do you think they care? No. Because they're farting in money. They're literally taking a shit in money. They literally can wipe their ass with millions of bucks because their sis was in a porno. They literally are made of money. And every time you talk about Kendall Jenner, you're giving her free publicity. So when you're writing these long Facebook posts, getting so outraged over a Pepsi commercial, number one, you're doing Pepsi a favor because you're talking about Pepsi. And I love reading the comments. Oh, I'm going to protest Pepsi. I'm never drinking it again. Okay. Oh, how are they going to survive losing the 10,000 people that might not do it, even though by 2019 you'll be drinking Pepsi? I would love to meet somebody in 2 years that goes, yeah, do you have a Coke? And you're at like Buffalo Wild Wings and they go, no, I have a Pepsi. And you go, no, can't have it. And they go, why? And they go, remember that Kendall Jenner commercial? And everyone's going to be like, no. If you're honestly going to have a lifetime ban on Pepsi, you're not a person I want to hang out with because you're a very boring, uptight, lame person. It says here, it's painfully obvious that Pepsi wanted to market their brand to the protest movement. But man, did they miss the mark and just ended up pissing everyone off. Yeah, I don't get the point of being mad. I think it's because I'm trying to make it in life, and we're all trying to make it in life. And you just see these vapid idiots doing whatever they want, and people talking about them, and the people that get mad at them think they're doing them a disservice by talking about them, even though every time you say Kardashian, you're doing them a favor. And I got a comment in real time from Rachel Ozzy Jarvis. And she goes, yes, I do think they care. Why else would they need to make so many TV shows? Well, here's what I meant. They make the TV shows because people with very boring personalities are watching it. The Kardashians' net worth is $300 million. I don't think they care what some podcast in Tampa Bay has to say. And Rachel, I'm not trying to be mean. I appreciate you listening, but they don't care what you have to say. They don't care what any of my listeners have to say. They don't care about what anybody has to say. Because they're worth $300 million and they are set for life. And frankly, I bet they made this commercial because they know it's going to piss people off, and we keep talking about Kendall Jenner. I mean, the last few months has been Trump, 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 Trump. They have not been in the news at all. And they're a brilliant marketing team. Like I've said, I'm not saying Kim Kardashian didn't get robbed in France, but it seems kind of odd that one of the most powerful celebrities got robbed in France. I'm just saying. They are the queen of PR. I've said this. Every college, if you want to go into marketing or media or business, they should have a whole class on how the Kardashians market themselves. Say what you want, but Kris Kardashian and those whole vapid idiots, those vapid morons, know what they are doing. They are brilliant at keeping themselves in the limelight. And they keep being in the limelight because we keep talking about them. And we keep giving them coverage. So if you think being outraged and writing a blog over it and not buying Pepsi is doing them a disservice, Pepsi's not going to go out of business and quit making Pepsi and quit manufacturing it because Joe Schmo from Cleveland or Rachel from Tampa, and I'm just saying that name because it came to my mind. I'm not saying that towards the listener who chimed in. Or let's say Jennifer from St. Louis. They're so uptight over Pepsi that they're going to lose business. Pepsi will be fine. And we have a comment in real time on the Hoppe Radio app. Rachel goes, I agree. Yeah, I'm just saying they don't care what we think. I wouldn't care what they think. I don't care what my haters have to think, and I don't make any money in radio. If you're worth $300 million, they don't care what we think either. All right, here's the deal. We're going to come back on Happy Hour and wrap everything up, but I want to hear from you. Tweet at me, at Ryan Hoppe Radio, and get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop, and I will be sure to message you back like I'm talking to Glick, Chris, and Rachel who are listening via the app. We will be right back on Happy Hour. Do not touch that computer mouse, that tablet, however the hell you're listening to this show.
Happy Hour.
What's up? This is Ryan Hoppe from the award-winning Happy Hour podcast here in Tampa Bay, and I'm here today to talk about my new friend of Happy Hour, Tampa Bay bands, who have made the new Happy Hour t-shirts possible. And here's why you should check them out, because I'm a man of my words. They offer a broad range of decorating techniques that are all performed in-house, right there. Direct garment, screen painting, and embroidery. They are very exceptional, and they produce each order on an individual basis, so they care about making sure it comes to you as soon as possible. They operate at their own art setup and embroidery factory here in Tampa Bay, and they provide the highest quality screen printing in all of Florida. And guess what? They use the top-notch equipment and top-grade inks to ensure that their direct-to-garment prints are reached at a standard that they can be proud of. And maybe you're going, oh man, how can I get into contact with such a great company? Trust me, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is give them a call right now at 813-374-9544. That's 813-374-9544. Or you can visit them right off of West Shore Boulevard in Tampa Bay. That's at 4817 South West Shore Boulevard, and go to their website, TampaBayBands.com. Trust me when I say that they are
the best in the Bay. Dun dun na 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 na. Yeah. So classy, sipping on my wine, about to chug it. Life short. Woo! Yeah. Doesn't this beat make you want to get down with your girl around a fire if you're up in a city that's a little cold and just bang her out? Doesn't this song make you just want to go to the beach and chill with your girl? Yeah, because I'm classy and me and Mel have fun to the song. Woo! No, we don't. Please don't hurt me, even though she's not home right now. Yeah. And speaking of that, everyone's like, where's Mel? Where's Mel? I need to see Melissa. I need to... All right, listen. I'm not saying that show's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime show. I'm going to have Mel back soon because it had 1,900 views. And it got covered on 2 top-rated afternoon and morning shows in Tampa Bay in the 19th biggest city, Drew Garabo live in the afternoon and the Mike Kelta show in the morning in prime time. So, obviously, I did something right. But I will say this. I don't want to overdo it because I don't want it to become a burnt-out topic. So I want you guys to email me, ryanhoppyradio@gmail.com. What would you want to see from my girlfriend, Melissa? What would you want to have a potential topic be? Because I need to be creative with this. Like, there is Dahl in Chicago, and he has Ask Janet, and Janet gets emails, and she gives advice from the Dahl podcast, and I really don't feel like copying him, because that's his own segment. And then you have other radio shows that have their wife on, and then you have radio shows that are either married radio couples or they act like they are. Like Eric and Kathy up in Chicago that are a powerhouse in radio. So what I'm saying is, I don't want to copy every radio show ever where you have the female that's the voice of reason and the guy, you never know what the alpha male is going to say, but the female brings them back to earth. Thank God for the female, because you never know what Hoppy's going to say. He's out of his mind, but Melissa, she humbles him. I don't feel like going for that approach. I want to do something unique. Because my ultimate goal with this show is to get on FM or AM or Sirius XM radio. I'm trying to get on the air. That's the ultimate goal. And to me, a way that would prevent me from getting on air is being a person that would take a bit from a radio show and try to make it my own. Like, I've had bits before on the show and bits that I'm working on, and I would hear it from a different radio show, and I would DM their morning host on Twitter asking for his approval to potentially use the bit, because I do not want to be known as a hack in this business, which is why I like working at 102.5 The Bone. It's original, very innovative, creative radio. There's so many radio shows and podcasts out there that you listen and you go, oh, they're trying to be Adam or Howard. And you know what? The best advice I've ever got is to be the best version of Ryan Hoppe possible. The same boss, Mike Olivero, who told me that I'm gaining a little bit of weight. So he gives me a lot of good advice, which is why I hit the gym. Which is why I hit the gym today. Nothing like going into your boss's office and you haven't seen him in a week, and he goes, man, you gained some weight. Nothing brings you back to earth like when your boss, who's helped you out so much, speaks the honest truth. All right. I know you're sad. I know you're going to be unhappy to hear this news. I know it's just going to ruin your night. But frankly, as I let this beat drop, yeah! DJ Hoppe in the house! H-O-P-P-E! Woo! Alrighty.
Happy hour is about to end, but first, it's time for last call.
And I got a message in real time from, let me see here, Casey Frank. He said, did you hear Doogie from Rover's Morning Glory talking about you the other morning? No, because I achieve and I aspire to have original content. And to me, original content in radio is not having to talk about former coworkers to fill up time on your morning show that's syndicated in different cities. So if I do get a radio show and am heard in different cities, I'll never talk about previous coworkers because those different cities aren't going to care about a kid who interned basically on the show for 10 weeks. So no, I must have missed the riveting comment that was on a radio show. No. I don't care anymore about what people say about me. I mean, I've been gone from Cleveland for 2 years, and it makes me laugh that I'm talked about on the show Because whenever I'm brought up on the show, that day I'll have 50 to 100 listens out of Cleveland or any of the cities that show is heard in. And there's that whole thing, 70 downloads, because I said it weird to Brother Weeze in an interview. And once again, they had to play it because they're rivals with Brother Weeze and the ROC. I'm just not into that type of radio anymore. If you have to talk about somebody else on your show, even if they're working for your show, and you have to spend the whole show, and I'm not even just saying this about any show in general. I'm saying this about any show, not just one show in general. If you have to spend the time that you have on your show, the great money that you make, the nice house that you have, the nice cars, and you make the living by bashing other people in radio trying to make it for your own creative content, then you're out of ideas. And I'm not even just saying this to my former employer, any radio show. If you have to trash somebody to have content, then you need to meditate, somehow come up with original ideas, and quit living in the 90s. All right. Happy hour is about to end. I know you're sad. I know you're upset. But it's not hard to get into contact with the show. All you have to do is get the Hoppe Radio app in the Google Play and iPhone shop by searching up Hoppe Radio. Hoppe Radio. There you can listen to me anywhere in the world. I don't care if you're in Auckland, New Zealand, or if you're in Cleveland listening after I was bashed, I guess, this week. You can listen anywhere in the world. This has been brought to you by Tampa Bay Bands, and it's not hard. All you have to do is go to tinyurl.com/Hoppe t-shirts. That's tinyurl.com/Hoppe t-shirts. For just $17, you can support the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to help get a cure for leukemia. Brought to you by Third Leg Greg of Tampa Bay Bands. Go to tinyurl.com/Hoppe Hour Decal. It's tinyurl.com/Hoppe Hour Decal. Brought to you by Soli's Graphics out of Duluth, Minnesota, and my good friend Nicholas Seymour. Check out the Cell Solution in South Pasadena, Florida, an official Metro PCS outlet in Florida. And the best part is it's Tony Spinney, who is amazing at fixing cell phones. I was at the hospital a few weeks ago with my girlfriend, and I dropped her phone. It completely cracked the screen, and he fixed the phone within 5 minutes. So to get into contact with them, 727-331-1934. That's 727-331-1934. And check them out at 6800 Gulfport Boulevard South, Suite 107. Tell them I sent you, and they will hook you up. It's also been brought to you by Tampa Bay Image Factory, TampaImageFactory.com. Let them know I sent you for a great deal. And Main Event Boxing. If you go there to Main Event Boxing and you let Josh and James know that I sent you, Ryan Hoppe, I beat Jake Herron of the Crowded Takeover in the Mike Out the Punch Out. If you let them know I sent you, they will hook you up. 727-564-3948. 727-564-3948. It's 2575 28th Avenue North. All right. Here's the deal. We're going to be back this week, and I have two major market radio hosts that will be calling in, and I'm working on booking other people as well. I truly appreciate people that listen to the show. I truly appreciate it. I don't care if you're a Cleveland morning show talking about me, because I end up getting listens out of it. I don't care if you're listening out of Tampa or Seattle, or the fact that I've had everybody from the Riz show in St. Louis and I'm getting a lot of listens out of St. Louis. If you're checking out the show and you love it or hate it, I truly appreciate it, because I do this show to change the way you think about things and to broaden your horizon and to create a conversation. So this has been Hoppe Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppe, saying peace out.
Happy hour.
All right. I'm out of here. I got to edit the show. It'll be up on the app this week. I have two guests that are coming on the show this week. I'm very pumped about. They're big names in radio, so I'm working on that. If there's anybody you want me to book on my show, email me, ryanhoppyradio@gmail.com if you want to be a sponsor of the show. If you have any ideas about how I can incorporate Melissa into the show, let me know. This has been Hoppy Hour. Bye!